didn't start swimming until I was 12 years old, and then I swam through high school and had an opportunity to swim at the University of Oregon. I could have gone to Tennessee, a couple other places, but the chance to swim in the Pac-10 back then, in the early 80s, was something you didn't want to pass up. And I didn't belong there, not until the end of my career, but it was a walk-on. I just made huge time drops. The coach saw some potential in me that other coaches didn't, I guess, and I took advantage of that opportunity. But we did a swim camp in the summertime at U of O, starting my sophomore year. I worked at camp. I ended up on a 5-year program. The last 2 years I was in school, I went up and coached in Hood River for a seasonal team. Fell in love with Hood River. Beautiful up there. Small team, but I really enjoyed it. When I graduated from college, I got my property management license and went to work for another outfit. The office looked at Mount Hood. That was a bad idea. I looked at that mountain every day. I lived in Beaverton, worked in Portland, and I'm like, I don't belong here. I grew up in Philomath, of all places. So went from a very small town to the University of Oregon and then to Beaverton, Portland. You can tell I was a small town kid, so they had a coach the next summer, 88, and then 89, they didn't. And I said, I'd be interested in moving up there. And so I started my business and started coaching. A sports club had just added on a swimming pool, indoor pool. We made an arrangement with them for the kids to swim a couple times a week and turn the team into year round. And Hood River was such a summer only mentality that parents were like, the kids can swim and go to school at the same time. And I said, well, they play football and soccer and volleyball and wrestling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can swim. They do it all across the country, so let's give it a try. So we went from 35 kids. About 4 years later, we were over 100 in a small town, 5,000 people. And I attribute that to the newspaper coverage. The newspaper really took it and ran with it. We were always in the paper about stuff, and the kids were always just going up, 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 up. And we grew because of that coverage. It was amazing. Yeah, I coached there until 2001, and then we moved to Albany and started coaching the Crescent Valley High School team. We had a great run there, and then the club team had between '01 and '07. In that 6-year span, they had 4 head coaches. Some people on the team said, well, it should be nice if we had some stability. Would you be interested? And I'm like, my kids are getting to be about that age. And so I said yes. And then last March, I stepped away. I'm like, I've got too much going on. God's telling me I need to be ready for something else. And then 4 weeks later, my father-in-law died. And it's funny how God knows that kind of stuff.